was a very hot day in late spring, and the reason I remember this is because my parents were mulching, one chore I have come to dread after doing it for the past 7 years. I was 4 during the time my older sister Alyssa was 6. We were complete opposites at this time as I loved competition and my sister cared very little for it. The reason I put emphasis on this is because we were bored out of our minds and well, I challenged my sister to a race across our front yard. As stated earlier, my sister was not much into competition and had little interest in trying to beat me across the front yard. Assuming that I would beat her, I begged and pleaded until she finally agreed to race me. I was very happy with myself as I had complete confidence that I would beat her and in turn would feel the rush of victory once more. As the race was about to start, my parents walked over to the finish line, a tree, so they could tell us who had won the race. To start the race, my dad clapped his hands loudly and we were off down the front yard. The confidence of mine faded, however, when I saw out of the corner of my eye that my sister had passed me and had actually won the race. I was devastated as I couldn't believe that my sister had beaten me. After losing like many other kids at the age of 4, I cried, but much longer than any average 4-year-old should for losing a front yard competition. As a matter of fact, I threw such a huge tantrum that my parents put me in timeout, a rare occurrence for me during my childhood as I pretty much followed every rule laid out for me during this time. After sitting in timeout for almost a full hour, still throwing a tantrum, my parents came over to consult me. My dad asked me, "Do you know what you did wrong?" This is a very common question that he still asks me today when I make mistakes. After being asked this question, I paused for a whole minute and stated, "I came in second." I don't remember this part particularly, but from the recollection that my mom gives when telling this story, they did what any other parents would do in the situation. They told me that it was okay to lose, then laughed hysterically as they returned to their work. This is the way I remain to this day from academics to athletics. For example, during the past year, like everyone else during their junior year, I took a certain standardized test called the ACT. While my score was well above average, actually within the 92nd percentile, I still felt immense anger when people that were sitting around me in class were performing better on these tests. These were students that had lower grade point averages and focused very little on their schoolwork, but yet they would still be able to get into better schools and earn more scholarship money due to their performance on a single test. I realize now that due to this idiosyncrasy, I've spent way too much of my time comparing myself to others and in turn have missed out on many opportunities throughout my childhood. I have spent almost extreme amounts of time on homework where I could be spending time with friends or figuring out what I really like to do. I hope that one day I'll be able to stop comparing my success to that of others so that for once in my life I can feel satisfied with my accomplishments.